Good evening and welcome to the Bitter Knitters podcast. It is Monday, December 10th, 2018. 15 days till Christmas, 14 if you don't count Christmas Day. What the hell? I've literally not bought one present.
I'm sorry, I was writing to somebody.
So
it wasn't even listening. My bad.
It's 14 days to Christmas and I have not bought one present.
I don't buy presents.
Oh.
Yeah,
not even Liz?
Nope.
Oh.
I'm not a present giver. Like, I accept shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at the point where I don't say no to people anymore. I hate fighting. Like, no, I don't want your money. No, you know what I mean? Just fucking, like, you want to give me something, whatever. But don't expect me to fucking reciprocate because it ain't happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I'm not buying a lot. It's mostly just going to be cash for the kids. Scott and I aren't exchanging gifts this year. Yeah. I mean, I'll get pajamas for everybody for under the tree and stocking stuffers and stuff. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, it's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's not me.
Yeah. Sorry, I just ate dinner, so now of course everything wants to repeat.
Yeah.
When you scarf down the food. So what a horrible week it's been. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to talk a lot about it. We talked in depth many times about how we were looking forward to hopefully things changing in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. That has come crashing down around our ears.
Yep.
What's his name? Mohammed bin
Salah.
Yeah, whatever his name is. Not a great guy. We all have heard many times about the Khashoggi. Is that how you say his name? Khashoggi?
Khashoggi or Khashoggi. Yeah, I'm not 100% on the pronunciation.
Murder. It's the only word for it. Murder. Transcripts were released today. I don't know if you read any of the transcripts.
No.
So basically, almost immediately upon arriving at the Turkish embassy, I guess they brought him into a room. I don't think they did in the lobby. He said, "What are you doing here?" Because he recognized one of the murderers.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? And the murder basically started immediately. They knew they were murdering him. It wasn't by accident because he said repeatedly, "I can't breathe." Mm-hmm. And there are screams and death noises, obviously. And then apparently you can hear the sounds of the saws.
Oh, yeah.
And they had the top forensic doctor from Saudi Arabia was present. And he told people, don't listen to the noise. Just put in your headphones and listen to music like I am. So,
yeah. It's to be expected, though. You know what I mean? Like, just because the Crown Prince seems progressive, he still comes from a place, a country, a culture that isn't. You know what I mean? Like,
and he still wants absolute power.
Well, and exactly, but like this type of shit is not new to that area of the world. Like, it's not. That I've said this many a times. That's old world. You know what I mean? Like, murder and death and silencing people that oppose you is just it was the norm. It's just what the fuck you do, right? So, but that whole thing is a fucking shit show, like an absolute shit show. The fact that like the Crown Prince got fucking Buddy's fingers as a trophy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hadn't heard that. That makes sense, though.
Now, that can't be obviously substantiated because anybody that would know would probably be murdered. But the whole thing's a fucking it's hilarious. And
then you have the top two guys, 45, and his I can't remember his guy's name. Is it Pompeo?
Fuck if I know.
The defense guy. Mm-hmm. Our Secretary of State guy, and he's basically saying, we're not going to listen to it because we don't speak Arabic.
Yeah, because somebody's screaming for their life.
Not listening. I mean, the president doesn't have to listen to everything. I could see that as long as he read the transcript. Yeah. I know that Justin Trudeau has not listened to it. I would hope he'd read the transcript too. Yeah. I don't care who you are. You should at least read the transcript as a leader of the country. But I would think your head of defense and security should listen to the audio.
It's just what a joke of an excuse. Oh, we don't speak Arabic, so we're not going to listen to it.
Well, when somebody like Lindsey Graham has listened to it.
Well, not even that. Like, that's just so fucking stupid. The guy's screams in anguish don't matter his fucking language. Like, you can tell if someone's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a difference between laughing and dying.
Right? That's fucked up. Like, that's such a dumb fucking statement.
And a cop-out.
Yeah, really.
A cop-out. And then it disgusted me last week when they were in Argentina for the G20 and just the way Putin and MBS were just, I'm not surprised. I'm not just surprised, but it sickened me. It really sickened me. Their hands shaking and high-fiving and just,
Not a surprise though. Again,
It's
not a
not. It doesn't
surprise.
surprise
Like
me. It
it's
just
which is the
sickens me.
funny thing. Even
Yeah.
everyone's response to it, how it
Yeah.
was no one fucking seemed to give a shit except for the public. It's
Yeah.
not a surprise to me anymore. Like
Yeah.
no, we don't care. Like
Yeah.
as much as we don't like the optics and we all want to take the moral high ground and shit, it's just like nothing's gonna happen. Like Putin's still fucking out there doing Putin things, you know. Mohammed bin
What are
Salah
they
is gonna do whatever the fuck he wants to
Seizing
do.
Ukrainian ships, who's going
Right?
to stop him? That's the
Right.
thing. Nobody stopped him with Crimea, so he is completely and
Exactly.
utterly in his own belief that he can do whatever he wants because he's kind of right.
For fuck's sakes, the Saudis were just caught killing a journalist in their consulate, and they're still the head of the UN's fucking Human Rights Tribunal.
Yeah.
Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? As much as we can all talk and we can all say whatever the fuck we want, you can even get out in the streets and join these yellow vest riots, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You ain't gonna change shit.
No.
Like, as fucked as it is.
Not when there's so much money coming from the Saudis, right?
Nothing's fucking changing. It's
Yeah.
sad to say. It's really sad.
And our governments, you know, our governments, our policies, our societal beliefs, they're not going to change a place like that. We've said this many times.
Yep.
That all has to come from within. People like Khashoggi, unfortunately, are going to lose their lives. People like the women that have disappeared that were trying to fight for women's rights and
Yep.
have been tortured. These are the ones that are going to change these places. And unfortunately, a lot of deaths have to happen before these things change.
Well, and that's it though, right? Especially when you're talking Saudi. The only way that place changes is with a complete armed coup.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? The
100%.
people have to rise up and they have to take that shit with violence.
Yeah.
And we're not going to like that because it's good. Well, I'm sorry, our business interests aren't going to like that because
Yeah.
it's going to funnel the flow of oil for a while, right? So,
Well, and every time there's been a rising, right? You had the Arab Rising, the Arab Spring, whatever you want to call it. Some worse people came in. Look what happened to Egypt. They were our buddies. They got rid of the the dictator, and in came the Muslim Brotherhood. And
yeah, and again, like I know sitting here in my fucking nice cozy house in Ontario where I really don't got much to worry about. Like I love running my mouth about this stuff, but I mean, there's nothing I can do. You know,
There's
like
not.
there really isn't.
Well, that's the thing. Like I can go on a comment on any article about a Canadian story, and someone will automatically turn it into true dope or true dirt, or whatever they want to, right? Can you imagine if you called Mohammed bin Salam or whatever the hell his name is, called him a turd?
I mean, at least my head would fall off my shoulders quickly. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing. They didn't
torture you first. Yeah,
that's the only thing I get to look forward to is that they're fairly fucking good with their public executions.
You know. It's crazy.
It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. And yeah, I was actually really upset at the complete lack of like public outcry when just the optics of Putin and him meeting at the G20 summit.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
It's sickening, like you said, that he's still, that country's still the head of the human rights.
Yeah,
it's that he's even still that he's still or even Putin are still allowed to go to the G20. Screw you.
Like how am I supposed to have good faith in the UN when the UN keeps doing stupid shit like this? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'd like to personally think that I can support a United Nations. Yeah. I think that's smart. I think that's really fucking smart. I really do, because it establishes a baseline, and all countries have to operate within said baseline.
Yeah, I'd like
that
too. Back when America wanted to invade Iraq, which had nothing to do with 9/11, and the UN's like, no, we're not sanctioning that war. And Canada was like, well, it's not sanctioned by the UN. We're not joining. I was so happy with our government.
Same here. But I mean, look at it. You know what I mean? It's a literal fucking joke. I don't know.
It's so corrupt now.
Oh,
it's so corrupt.
Again,
I guess it was corrupt then, and maybe we didn't see it, but I feel like it's so openly dirty.
Yeah, no, it is. It's absolutely insane. Like again, when the Saudis were named as the leaders of the Human Rights Tribunal, that was that was there. That should have told everything. I mean,
and it kills me is that like especially with Americans. North Korea is so bad, right? Cuba was so bad that they had trade embargoes for 60 years on them.
Yep.
But Saudi Arabia is our best friends,
right?
I
mean, the whole thing, like, I think,
and our government's not clean on it. Like, I'm not trying to just say this is American. Our government is, they sell millions and billions of dollars of things to the Saudis and buy their oil and do all kinds of shit. So
we're at this weird kind of like impasse almost with the globalism, you know what I mean, where we all want to hold hands and sing kumbaya,
Yeah.
World round, right? We want world peace. Like I can't really imagine
world peace, yeah.
Right? But we can't have it because we still respect nations like individual choices, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like, I'm going to kind of change the subject a little bit. Not the subject, but the matter. The government of Canada just arrested the chief financial officer of Huawei, which is a very predatory Chinese tech company.
Yeah.
And the Chinese government is now threatening our government over a private citizen being arrested. You know what I mean?
Well, like it's not a government arrest. This is illegal.
Yeah, right. And we did it on behalf of the Americans because this company broke fucking sanctions against selling shit to Iran, I think it was.
Right.
But like right there is a great example of this whole like globalism shit that we got to figure out.
Yeah.
Because as far as China's concerned, yeah, it's a private company, but the second a private company becomes too big, the government just kind of swallows it up. They eat all the fucking money. You know what I mean? So how do you respect a place like that's run that way, right? Because I think we've all decided that we don't really have the right to be like, well, you can't govern your people this way, even though that's, the people were forcefully elected or whatever.
It's hysterical because this is all in the open with Canadians. We've announced it. We talked about it publicly. I mean, how many people go missing in China?
Right, and that's kind of my thing. And so here we are in Canada. I mean, probably the U.S. as well, although we know they do a little bit more shadier shit than we do. Yeah. But where we are trying to do shit the right way, the legal way, the way that is beneficial to the world, and in the stance of the example laid out.
Mm-hmm.
But we're dealing with a people that don't. No. And this is my issue with this whole like UN thing, right? Is because we're trying to accommodate everybody's feelings, but a lot of these people aren't operating at that fucking baseline that we should all be operating
at. And that's the thing you've mentioned many times. It's not even just tribalism, but it's just like a societal belief system. Mm-hmm. Our Western values are never going to be the same as Chinese values or South Korean values or Saudi Arabian values. And it has nothing to do with religion at this point. It's just your customs, your values, your beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? So it's like, what do we do? How do we go forward with this shit? How do we do business with a country like Saudi that, I mean, again, just publicly murdered a fucking dissenter and lied about it, like how do we deal with that? Because that doesn't gel with us.
I mean, you heard a bit about it. I see it, pop up on New York Times and stuff like that, but I don't see a lot of people talking about what the Saudis are doing to Yemen.
No. I see a lot of it on Reddit. Like, thankfully, the Reddit community, they're real up in arms about this kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I do get to see a bunch of it, but it's not talked about. It's not talked about at all.
Hundreds of thousands of children starving to death. I mean, just these little bony skeleton bodies, and I mean, we've seen images of the concentration camps from the Jewish people, rightly so. I'm not saying we shouldn't see them. We absolutely should.
Yep.
This is no different if you're starving these people and you're killing innocent people,
Well, even that, like,
civilians should not be killed in a war if possible. If possible,
yeah. But like, even to bring that background of the Chinese, I can't remember the religious group, but they just rounded up a whole shit ton of people.
Muslims.
No,
the Muslims.
It wasn't Muslims. No, it was a different fucking religious group, and they're in a concentration camp right now. No one's talking about it. I've seen.
No, I thought it was because I know that they've been really bad to the Muslims there.
Yeah, no, it's messed up. But here we are doing business with this country, right? And again, like, because of their capitalist, communist, fucking mishmash.
Yeah, that's so weird how they have a capitalist communism.
It's so fucked up. So essentially, the way I look at it with China is that you're allowed to be a capitalist until you hit a certain amount of money, and then the government just swallows you up.
Like, no more, bud.
Right? That's it. Now you make enough money that we give a shit. We want that money. Do what we say, or we'll disappear you and your family.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, absolutely will disappear you.
Yeah. I don't know. Fuck it. I mean, but what do you do? Like, again, without like a very violent, armed uprising, what can we do?
That's what I was kind of saying to my son. We were talking about the protests in France, and I'm like, like, this is a country that beheaded their leaders and started a new government. Like, this country does not joke around. They're angry. They've been out 4 weeks in a row, tearing the city apart. Like, they don't care. They freaking burned down part of the oh god, what the hell, the Arc de Triomphe. They don't care.
No, they don't give a shit. No, I mean, I like to talk shit about the French. You know what I mean? Like,
14, was it 1,400? No, 4,000 people arrested.
Something like that. It's been pretty fun.
Yeah, like, you know, they don't, but that's the thing. As much as you want to say, you know, you make your jokes, they gave up on war, they rolled over. These motherfuckers get out and they protest when they see an injustice to what they feel is an injustice at the very least, you know?
I mean,
why are these dogs fighting while I'm trying to have a show? He's laying in sleep for 24 hours of the day. Now they're going to wrestle. Yeah,
it's so fucking true with the French, though. Like, if they're upset, they get out there and they fuck shit up until they're heard.
Yeah,
you know? And to be fair, you know, there have been movements here in North America in the last couple of years where people have been trying that. But unfortunately for us here, we're still new. I mean, like... Well,
because the thing here is when we do our protests, they tend to be peaceful. And when they get rowdy, you know, like, let's talk about Ferguson, let's talk about Baltimore. You're burning down poor areas of the city where people get, why are you doing that? Now you're going against your cause, right?
Not only even that, when you see the violence break out here, except for some of the BLM protests, I think those ones were like the ones that at least turned, you know, riotous. Yeah. They still had the, you know, the meaning at heart, but like these political ones, it just ends up being one group of people fist fighting another group of people when it should be those two groups of people fucking up their government. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Beating me up
on demand a government change.
Like beating me up on the street because I don't believe in open borders isn't changing the fact that you want open borders. Like, you just beat up another citizen. Go beat up Queen's Park or Capitol Hill, or you know what I mean? And that's the thing I admire about the French. They don't fuck around with that type of shit. You know, like when they get mad, they go.
Here in Toronto, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna block off King Street."
Okay, you're only allowed to drive a block at a time anyway on it, so
you know. But it's like ridiculous. It's like, no, like these people literally. I mean, you have. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I'm going to say, you know, thousands and thousands of tourists in Paris on any given day.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And, I mean, when you're inconveniencing tourists and they can't go into Paris, like, you know, that's money's talking at this point.
Yeah.
Not to mention the damages, not to mention the polices, not to mention the firemen, not to mention the arrests.
I didn't care, though. Like, that's probably the only reason why I'd go to fucking Paris.
I respect them.
Literally the only reason why I would go to Paris is to fucking join in one of these epic fucking riots, these assholes. Like, I'm telling you.
In Ireland on New Year's Eve, and Liz is going to be like, where'd Arthur go? And he's in Paris. You're
on a plane, fucking burning down the Louvre. Fucking Mona Lisa's ugly anyway. Fuck it. Burn it to the ground. No, I've always admired them for that. Like, I really have. I'm not even lying.
And a lot of European cities are like that. Like, London does it, not to the extreme or as often as Paris.
Yeah.
You know, they do it in London or England. They do it in Greece, Germany.
Yeah.
You know, especially the young people. Yeah. It's the young people that are like, no, this. And I mean, young people have always been the revolutionaries.
Of course.
You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's why I get mad when people say. I mean, I always make jokes about millennials too, but millennials aren't going to change anything with their coffee foam. Well, you know what? Young people change history.
We're the only ones. Like, young people are the only ones that can. I'm sorry. Like, even if you're a middle-aged progressive, you are not the person to enact change. You're just not. You are even stuck in your ways, as progressive as you think you are. You know, we all reach a point in our lives, I personally believe, that even with us wanting to move forward and wanting to accept new ideals, it gets harder and harder and harder. But, you know, between that fucking 16 to 24, you're real fucking
aggression. Nothing to lose, man.
Nothing to lose. You're still, you know, you still feel invincible from your fucking childhood days, you know, like that you're out there in the streets throwing Molotov cocktails at fucking police officers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, more power to them. I mean, I kind of appreciate it. They think they get taxed too much. The government say, go fuck yourself. So like, all right, we're going to burn the city down.
Look, it's the same reason that they freaking got rid of their kings and queens was because they didn't have anything and they were taxed too much, right? The reason the American Revolution happened, they felt they were taxed too much. So,
no, it's true. And I mean, again, when our governments are run like fucking corporations, which has kind of become the norm, we're going to see more and more and more of this pop up. Yeah. I mean, I still think we're really far away from that here in North America. You just have too many. There's too large of a population, especially in the U.S. You know what I mean? Like, there's just too many different people, too many different styles of think for that many people to collectively get together and fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I mean, as it stands right now, I'm not saying that, you know, that bow ain't going to break eventually.
Oh, it will.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's going to. But as it stands right now, I don't see it. Like, I don't see us ever really having any type of large, political action like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people actively trying to encourage a civil war in America.
Yeah. Yep.
I could see that happening.
I can and I can't. I can with a really small population of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like the Civil War of the 1860s.
No, it can't be, right? You're not going to actually split that nation in half and have a full-on civil war like that. So I even though I do think something small will happen, it'll get shut down real fucking quick because there won't be governmental fucking militaries involved in this, right? These are going to be small militia uprisings trying to fight other small militia uprisings, and then the guys with the big fucking weapons are going to come and be like, sit your fucking punk ass down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I just say quickly, I haven't been following it that closely, but I know that Canada is going to agree to some UN immigration policy where they all, start accepting more immigrants over the time.
Okay.
There's a meme out there saying that Justin Trudeau is going to get rid of our borders and let 245 million people in next year. It's not happening, people. Calm the fuck down. Stop being stupid.
That couldn't happen. Like, that literally can't happen.
Somebody posted that and I literally just responded with a ha-ha. Like, because I couldn't even like
that literally can't happen. Like, that's fucking impossible.
It will suddenly be the fucking population of America.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. You can't.
People just believe any meme they see on Facebook. They're ridiculous.
Well, especially when it comes to bashing their fucking leaders. Like, because I see it with people even with the Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah. Where somebody posts something that, I mean, again, it's still within the wheelhouse of something that fucking idiot would say, but he didn't fucking say it.
Yeah, and just find something. He says all kinds of crazy, horrible shit. Right? Share that stuff. Don't make stuff up. You don't need to.
But yeah, people are so goddamn gullible. But yeah, fuck it. What was the number though? 245 million.
Yeah. Okay,
so let's work this out. That's roughly the population of fucking Western Europe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's almost 400 million in America. So with that plus our 40 million, you'd be at almost 300 million. We'd be almost the size of continental America.
Yeah. No, it can't happen. Like, that literally can't happen. There's not even enough livable space in Canada.
We don't even have anywhere for people to live in Toronto. There's no apartments or houses.
There's not even enough livable space in Canada to make that fucking happen.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot better get on those roads, Trudeau.
Fuck the roads. What, are we gonna fucking have 100 million people living in tundra? Like, do people not understand what Canada is? Like, we're the second largest landmass.
Quarter of the country you can live in.
It's like, it's seriously like 80% of our country is just fucking unlivable. You cannot fucking live there. Like,
or tundra. Maybe it's the tundra's melting from climate change, right?
Yeah, maybe, but you still have fucking hungry polar bears to deal with.
Sinkholes appear, and you get sunk into those and die.
I haven't seen that, but that one hurts me a little bit.
Yeah, I'll look for it, and if I see it, I'll share it.
Because I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Stupid people are everywhere, and I've accepted that fact. But it does still take me back a bit when I see some of this like just overt fucking ignorance, and I'm like, what?
Do you know what else bothers me? Maybe I'm on what bothers me today. All these people that share memes about like, oh, if I offend you, or oh, if I'm an asshole, or oh, if I'm a bitch, or oh, today I'm posting to offend everybody. I get it. You think you're awesome and you're an asshole. I don't need to see it 60 times a day, okay? And why don't you just write a post with your actual opinion to show me you're an asshole and just sharing a meme? Because that doesn't really show me anything except you can't have original thoughts. So,
well, and that too, right? Like, by posting that kind of stuff, you're... At least the people I know that post that kind of stuff, it's kind of their trump card, right? It's their way to say something, completely abhorrent or completely fucking stupid, and you go to argue with them, like, and they just use the you're triggered, you're a snowflake. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an asshole. I said I'm an asshole. It still doesn't mean like.
Trust me, I probably already know you're an asshole. I don't need you to share 6 memes a day about it. Because, like, honestly, it gets really boring and I just go past it. It's just, like, annoying. Please get some original thought. You want to show me you're an asshole? Post something. Like, if you want to share a meme and then give me a reason why you support that meme or that news story or whatever. And then maybe I'll have a debate with you.
Meme culture, like, this whole meme thing is fucking hilarious. Like, it is so fucking funny to me. And, I mean... this might be offensive. I don't give a fuck, but old people.
Oh my God, I'm offended.
Like, old people, you guys don't know shit. Like, just stop. Yeah. Just fucking stop. Because, like, I don't really see many fucking 20-year-olds perpetuating these stupid fucking, well, a Canadian senior gets this much, but an immigrant gets it. Like, fuck you. What the fuck? Fuck you.
It's because old people, and look, I'm including my generation in it because I know a lot of people my age sharing this shit.
Yeah.
They just believe, they're still the people that believe everything you read or see is true. Yeah. Like growing up, what you saw in the news was true. What you read in a book was true, right? We had encyclopedias and we had news stories and we had magazines that were all true. There was no, fake news back then. Yeah. So now, I really just think they believe everything they see.
Everything. Oh, it's fucked up. It's so fucked up. Funny, but fucked up. And that one to me is the one that like pisses me off the most is like, you get these seniors saying, oh, well, this person gets more benefits than me. You've had the opportunity to work for 40 years. If you didn't save for retirement, that's on you.
Yeah. Why should the pension be $2,000 a month for you? Like, sorry, RSPs and GICs and mutual funds existed 50 years ago. Okay?
Yeah, but didn't you know that they had 7 fucking children and they deserve to fucking go to Boca fucking twice a year now? You know what I mean? And like, that's kind of the reasoning I see with a lot of these fucking idiots that post this kind of shit. It's the, well, I had kids and had a family and negated my own life. So I deserve, to live, not luxurious, but live comfortably. Well, no, you don't. You don't deserve shit. Like, no one deserves
people that literally, don't vote, don't follow any kind of current events, let alone politics.
Yeah.
And then they're like sharing this shit. Like they just want their benefit to get bigger, and to keep the Muslims out. Because, we're all going to be on Sharia law within the next 6 months with the 245 million immigrants.
245 million. Jesus Christ. Start fucking buying some bunk beds, boys. Like, it's going to get snug.
Well, I guess I'll have to rent out the kids' rooms downstairs and start making some money.
Actually, fuck. That's actually not bad. That's not a bad idea.
Maybe the sheds out in the backyard.
Yeah.
Get a space heater out there with an extension cord.
Yeah.
It's got to be better than living in some sort of refugee camp.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Fucking 245 million people.
I know, it's fucking ridiculous.
Like, give your fucking head a shake. Where the fuck would 245 million people miraculously fucking come from? Like, you know what I mean?
They're going to empty out the Middle East and bring all the Muslims here.
Like, are a bunch of people from, like, the slums of Mumbai going to get on a fucking rubber dinghy and fucking brave the Indian, then the Pacific, and then march through the fucking U.S. to what, squat in the fucking tundra? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Just imagine them in the middle of, like Manitoba.
Yeah.
Just, like, in the middle.
Yeah.
Just eaten by black flies and fucking mosquitoes. And
oh my God.
Bears.
For fuck's sakes. For fuck's
Try to go in the fucking lakes and get eaten by a walleye or carp or whatever the hell those
it's
pikes.
Just like, when the fuck did people get so scared of this shit that they started, you know what I mean, to perpetuate this kind of nonsense?
Yeah.
Yes, I understand the optics of the refugee crisis in the last couple of years, especially what happened in Europe. Like, it's scary, but to start fucking talking flat out bullshit.
Well, and this is the thing is like in Canada, I mean, yes, there's groups of immigrants that are always going to live together, Little Italy, Greek town, you know what I mean? And, and of course, when you're new to a country, you want to be with people that are like what you know from your old country. But Canada especially has learned from the problems of Europe. And when they brought in all those immigrants that we brought in, they went to different communities. They didn't just put everybody in Toronto. They didn't just put everybody in Vancouver. They didn't put everybody in Montreal. We had some go to Newfoundland. We had some go to Nova Scotia. They went all across into different communities.
Up into fucking Moose Jaw, Manitoba. Yes. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes, and that's the thing. And I'm not saying that we have to isolate them so they don't, make a terrorist cell. I'm just saying, like, you're only going to get integration and Canadianization by, introducing them to other communities than just their own communities.
Well, and that too, like, if that's the thing, if people are still scared about refugee immigration because of terrorism, you're dumb. Like, give your fucking head a serious shake.
Turned out in all these
Do you know what I mean?
You haven't seen any of these refugees that came in.
No.
None of them. have caused any trouble.
There has been some incidents,
yes.
and they have been, you know, I don't want to say swept under the rug, but not vocalized to the point, because again, these will be rallying cries for fucking idiots, right? There was a case of a boy in Alberta that did
the Alberta kid,
uncouth things at a public swimming pool. Now they were culturally okay where he was from, so you know what I mean. But there have been incidences.
There was a lady too that I believe she was a Syrian refugee that did the knife at the Canadian Tire.
Oh yeah, but that chick was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure she was proven to have like fucking full blown schizophrenia. Like it wasn't, you know what I mean? But I can't believe that that's still a talking point for people. Like there's still fucking some reason scared that like ISIS is out there training in fucking Alberta. They're not like, no, it's dumb.
And you know what else I hate? This is the last thing I'm going to say before we move on to our actual stories. I hate when I'm reading a story about, say, the beautiful story about the dog from the wildfires in California. And stayed at home and waited. And I was like, oh my God, I had tears. And then I read the comments and so I'm like, I'm surprised Trudeau's not going to give him $10 million. Like, not everything has to be politicized. Okay, stupid, shut up.
You know, I've seen a lot of people talking a lot of shit about that. Not the Trudeau, but the animals left in the wildfires.
Yes.
Now, I'm sorry. For one, no one has the right to tell me if I deserve the love of my fucking animal or not, regardless circumstance. And were you there? Were you fleeing the fire? Did your dog jump out a window because it was fucking petrified?
Exactly.
Like, go fuck
and these are outside dogs. These dogs are outside dogs for the most part. So I mean, the hint of smoke or somebody coming up to the house, who knows? Maybe they ran off.
Right. I was really mad at that. I seen a lot of people, of people.
You're horrible. Right? Some people weren't home. Like there was a 3-hour window. You weren't home. They're not letting you back in to go get your dog.
Like, no, I was really upset by that.
And look, I love my dogs to death. They're my babies. They sleep with us. But if I had to choose between my kids and my dogs, sorry, I'm going to choose my kids. As much as they're assholes, I'm choosing my kids.
Well, yeah. You know, and if I got to choose myself over fucking your kids, I'm choosing myself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Why wouldn't you? You're trying to live.
Exactly, right? So it just, that one really bugged me. It really bugged me seeing people going off on these people because like they haven't lost enough. And now you're going to sit here and take fucking pot shots at them because
their cat died because you're a monster. You deserved it.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck's sakes. Like, that one really hurt me.
Yeah.
And I hate the fucking online circle jerk of fucking the animal rights people. I really am. You know, people have gotten way too comfortable living their lives online, and you forget what it is to say something to someone's face and then fucking punch you in the mouth.
It's not even animal rights people, but everybody is always like, you know, everything. Like, I wouldn't have done that. Like, if a mother's child gets hurt, I would not have done that. Well, that's great. You wouldn't have done that.
It's all fucking gatekeeping. But the animal rights ones, they start to fucking really get under my skin because, like, again, if you fucking said that shit, if you told someone that they're a worthless piece of shit because, again, they couldn't make it to their house and their fucking poor cat died in a fucking wildfire.
Yeah.
I mean, I would I'd knock your teeth right out of your fucking mouth. Are you kidding me? Who the fuck are you to talk to me that way?
Have fights too if that happened to me. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, people live their lives too much online, and people like to fucking say some hurtful things because there's literally no chance of somebody punching you in the fucking mouth. And it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. I wish we could all go Jay and Silent Bob styles and fucking fly around the world and be like, hey, man, so on fucking this date, you said fucking this. And then, what? I don't give a fuck that you're 62 and a pensioner, Gladys.
From Reddit or your printout from the Canadian TV article.
Like, I don't give a fuck about you, Gladys. You're 62. Your ass shouldn't have been running your mouth. Smack to the fucking face. Like, you know, I'm just so sick of it. Like, the fucking hatred and vitriol that I see people fucking throwing at each other.
On their front step or something.
No, because that wouldn't teach nobody. Like, literally, the threat of not getting your ass handed to you has really fucking emboldened people. And the disgusting fucking things I see. I mean, something as simple as, there was a hockey game the other day, the Leafs versus the Boston Bruins. Yeah. And I unfortunately didn't get to watch it, but apparently shit got pretty fucking heated between the teams. And a couple of the players had to fucking like turn all the commenting off on their Instagrams because people were threatening their lives and their children's lives and shit like that.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? Over a fucking sporting game. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't
That's the best game when the games get freaking chippy and feisty like that. What the hell?
That's what I mean, though. Do you think that one of these guys one of these people fucking saying that your kid should fucking die would say that to a fucking hockey player.
I don't care who you are. I mean, this fucking Takashi guy, who's a disgusting lowlife person, I don't wish death on his children. What the hell?
No, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. But again, I don't
wish death on Trump's kids. I don't wish death on, like, that's sick. Don't bring children
It's messed up. It's so messed up. And
again,
like,
even if you're mad at somebody, you don't go to Twitter and send them death threats. Jesus Christ, grow up.
But the place where I see that the most and the biggest circle jerk is with the fucking animal rights people. Yeah. Like, it's absolutely fucking terrifying.
There's a lot of death threats to people.
You know what I mean?
A lot of these stories.
Little girl fucking goes out and fucking kills her first mule deer.
Yeah.
And people are threatening a 6-year-old girl's life. Do you know what I mean? It irks me. It really gets under my skin.
Yeah, I don't like that. Look, I'm not a hunter. You know that. I don't like hunting, but I would never tell someone that they especially for food. Like food hunting, I support. I wouldn't do it. I don't want to eat it, but I support people that do it because at least they're not wasting an animal.
Look, I might think you're a dickhead because you went out and fucking killed an elephant and didn't eat it. I do think you're a dickhead, but I'm still not gonna be like, hey man.
No, you know, I still don't. Even the dentist that killed Cecil the lion, I don't wish death on.
No, like it's so fucked up. But the online circle jerk shit, like it's so messed up. Yeah. It's so fucking messed up. And this is coming from a guy that runs his mouth online all the time. Like I run my mouth.
Yeah, constantly. But you don't wish death on people. You just tell them they're stupid or that they're pussies or whatever.
Yeah, I figure out ways to make them look stupid, which riles them up that much more. But yeah, I don't know. That one bugs me. It fucking bugs me a lot.
Okay, well, I'm out of things that bug me right now. Maybe something will come to mind later. But I want to talk about something that I love. I love space. Okay, I've always been kind of like a nerd for space. Not just like Star Trek and stuff like that, but just like actual space.
Yeah, not sci-fi, but real fucking.
I remember being a kid, and I mean, they launched in, I think, 77, the Voyager 1.
Yep.
And I remember that. I mean, I would only be 5 years old, and I still remember very clearly them talking about it and playing the record. And I remember in the 90s when it was passing Jupiter and Pluto and all those Pluto and Neptune and all those far out planets, like how far away they were. And we were getting images that we'd never had. And it's funny because I know we shouldn't, apply human feelings to spacecrafts, but like these little Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 are like, they're little superheroes to me. Voyager 2 has now joined Voyager 1 in interstellar space. It's left our solar system. The only 2 man-made objects, as far as we know, to leave our solar system.
Yeah, it's pretty
incredible. Cool. And they're still working. They're still sending information to us. They were built they're almost as old as I am.
Yeah.
And they're still working.
Yeah. The intriguing thing that in my opinion, at least with this, is going to be whether or not they actually do finally leave our solar system, because they're not actually out of our solar system. They've entered interstellar space, right?
Yeah.
So they're still under the influence of the sun's gravitational pull. So to me, it'll be interesting to, if they actually do come crashing back down to our solar system.
Oh, you think it might not be able to get out?
As far as I know, from what I was reading today about this, that our sun's gravity can pull things in up to about 2 light years away. Until
makes sense. That's why, rogue things come into our.
Yeah, but until other gravitational pulls might affect it.
Yeah.
So but no,
is it headed to Andromeda? Where is it heading to?
I have no idea. I have no idea. None. I mean,
as cool as I think at some point, but I don't know.
I mean, if that was the case, it should just leave it, because that thing's going to crash into us in a couple billion years. So.
Well, we won't be around for that, but.
You don't know that. I start this new fucking juice cleanse. All right,
I take my vitamins tomorrow.
Right? Exactly. I'm back on the Flintstones. I'm fucking good. I'm good to go for the next 250 million.
It's amazing to think, especially the technology that we had back then.
Yeah.
And I know that I can't remember its name. They built another one that just went out. Maybe 10 years ago, and it's already really close to getting to the Kuiper, past the Kuiper.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to. We need to know what's out there.
Yeah.
We need to know, especially the Kuiper Belt. So, the way solar systems are formed, right? Like, we know for a fact that there has to be at least 1, possibly 2 giant gas planets that are out there.
Yeah.
Right? There has to be. It's just the composition of the solar system.
And they know by the way certain planets have weird
elliptical orbits and the wiggle in them and stuff. So that should be pretty cool.
it's incredible what's out there. Like, can you imagine? Like, we've been looking at our solar system. I mean, with telescopes for hundreds of years. Now we've been using like Hubble and these crazy, you know, technology, and there still could be two things out there hiding.
Yeah. Well, so most stars are not stars, sorry, but most solar systems are binary, right? Most systems are binary, meaning there's two stars.
Right.
Right. We only have one.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense in the law of what the fuck am I looking for?
Like physics?
Not physics.
I don't know.
It's a math term. God damn.
Oh. I can't help you then for sure.
Oh fuck. It's just the chances are we have to be like us being an anomaly.
One of these gas giants is basically like the binary twin to the sun.
No,
is that the theory?
No, we have. There's another sun.
Oh.
A brown dwarf with.
Oh, that's not emitting any heat.
As far from what I was reading about the theories of any of these gas giants that might have been here, they would have been ejected by Jupiter's gravitational pull.
Right.
And they're either out there in the Kuiper Belt, or we're going to find evidence that they fucking
Kuiper Belt, for anybody who doesn't know, is basically space rocks, planets, debris, planets possibly out there surrounding our solar system.
Yeah, so everything in the Kuiper Belt is from the forming of our star, and when we were in a nebula. So I mean, there's gold out there, there's platinum. You know what I mean? Like that's everything that makes up every planet here is sitting out there, just in smaller chunks that got thrown out. But yeah, and again, like I normally get into this stuff and I'm super fucking baked, so it's hard for me to remember a lot of it. But the one the one theory that I like and makes the most sense to me about our binary system is that we know that they're out there. They're called brown dwarfs. Yeah. They're stars that are about the size of Jupiter, but 200 or 300 times more dense.
Yeah.
And they emit next to zero light. Like we can't fucking see them. Like we know they're there because we can see the gravitational pull is affecting, you know, other celestial bodies, but we can't fucking see them.
Yeah.
As far as the planets, apparently like they were just flung out. Like there's probably a few rocky planets out there that would probably sit between Mars and the sun that we probably fucking flung out of the goddamn solar system.
Yeah. It's amazing how and you know, like, thank God, I don't want to say God, but thank, you know, the universe for Jupiter, because Jupiter, you know, really does kind of save our asses from a lot of these big space rocks coming towards us.
100%. Like if you can beat the gravity of Uranus or Neptune and get even close to Saturn, and get even close to Saturn and Jupiter, you know what I mean? Like chances are one of those big four planets are swallowing your ass up. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's going to be hard to make it through. Although shit does all the time. Like all the fucking time.
Yeah, they're like, oh, by the way, something's coming by closer than the moon to the Earth tomorrow. And you're like, what?
See, I always try to see that stuff, but you can't.
No, I need to get a good telescope.
Well, it's not even that. It's just they don't refract enough light for us to even fucking get to see them, which is too bad because I'd love to see something pass between us and the moon. Yeah. That's crazy cool.
That's sick. And speaking of, anybody who's listening and is into space and stuff like I am and Arthur is, on Sunday night, starting right at like 5:30, as soon as the sun goes down, there will be a comet that will be visible to almost everybody in Canada with the naked eye. You don't need binoculars. If you got them, great. If you got a telescope, even better. But you should be able to look up if it's dark enough and clear enough and see it. And you'll be able to see it right until about, I think, 4:30 in the morning. So good luck. Hopefully we have clear skies that night. And probably it'll snow here and I won't see shit.
You'll know it's a comet, not a star, because it'll be trailing shit.
Yes.
Like, that's the only real way to tell.
Yes.
I remember I was a kid when Hale-Bopp came around.
Yes.
And we were all driving in the car, and I looked out the window, and I said, that's a comet. My dad's like, no, you're an idiot. It's a star. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, that's a fucking comet. Well, obviously I didn't swear at him. I was a child.
Yeah.
But no, like that's a comet. No, you're an idiot. 2 days later, it's in the paper. Oh, Hale-Bopp comet. Look out fucking here. And you can see it. And he's like, oh, look, you see the comet? Like, you motherfucker, I told you.
No, I think the year before my dad died, that winter before, like the year before my dad died, there was a comet, the Japanese one. Not Hale-Bopp, it was the Japanese one.
Because that was the one that I'm talking about. It was that year that I saw it. It was that fucking winter. It was that winter. It might not have been Hale-Bopp.
Dad took us out to the country to see it. Me and Scott and my mom, we drove out into the dark and we saw it. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, now that like this stuff's kind of become not cool, but more the norm. I mean, you know, like you can find out when all the meteor showers are the best place to see them. You know, I mean,
there's a meteor shower basically like every 3 months.
Yep.
You know, granted, the one in the summer are usually the famous, the Perseids.
Yeah, the Perseid.
And August, they're usually the best, and you know it's clear. And if you don't have too much mosquitoes, you can go out and take a look at them. I usually go out and watch them for an hour or so. There's some in November. I don't remember their names, but I mean, there's some in April, and I think there's some in June again. Like every 3 months, there's a meteor shower.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and they're fun to watch.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
they're amazing. And the last little bit of space news, everybody knows that the lander landed on Mars last week, and we got the wind of Mars. Did you listen?
No.
So it's not a true audio recording.
Yeah.
What they did is the inside recording from the machine inside recorded it, and I guess the little thing that's gonna register the vibrations onto the planet did a recording of the wind blowing by. But it's freaky. You should listen. It's weird because it's a wind, but it's not. It's like when you watch a sci-fi movie and there's like a weird noise, it sounds really eerie like that. Kind of cool.
Did you ever hear the recording of Jupiter or Saturn? Yeah, the recording of Saturn.
I don't know if I did.
One of the most eerie sounds I've ever heard in my life. Like Saturn, yeah, it was crazy.
Whenever they have those space noises, they're like, here's a noise that came in 1973 and we don't know what it is. And you're like, why is that a noise? That's weird.
Well, Cassini, right? Cassini was the probe that was sent to Jupiter. And if you ever get the chance, check out the pictures.
They're beautiful.
Oh my God. Like Jupiter has always been, you know, something that I've really kind of revered just for the size. And you know the eye, that's pretty cool. That storm is bigger than the fucking Earth. Like that's pretty dope. It's been going
for like 200 years.
Well, we've never known Jupiter without it. Yeah. Right? Like from the first time we looked at Jupiter, that thing was fucking going. So that's pretty cool.
It's getting smaller now. It's finally
it's gonna go away. But the fucking colors, like I never knew that it was like indigo and fucking deep navy blue and like
just the layers. Like gorgeous. That's the thing. Like you would think a planet would just be like, if it's blowing around so much stuff, why would it just be like one color beige?
Right.
And it's just these layers of colors going different ways. Yeah. Like you got perfect layer going counterclockwise, the other going that way. It's so insane.
There's another cool thing about the Saturn probe that they sent out there to take pictures. The southern, I want to say the South Pole storm is a perfect octagon. It's a perfect octagon.
How is that, like,
how is it possible?
How does nature make a perfect mathematical shape?
It's so fucking dope. It's so cool.
Science is freaking crazy. I remember watching, and this is only like maybe 10 years ago, I watched this documentary. And I mean, I've been watching things for years.
Yeah.
And this one blew my mind because I'd never heard the term before. And they were like, as we travel through the universe, we're going back in time. And it never dawned on me that I'd heard that when we look at a star, that's a star from a long time ago and it's gone. But it never really dawned on me in that term, like we're traveling back in time. And it gave me chills. And I was like, what the hell? That's so true. That's so freaky.
So like everything that we see in our solar system isn't that, right? We are seeing that in real time. But the second we start looking at light being emitted from other stars, other galactic phenomenon, or even what we consider the Big Bang, right? Like we can see the edge of the universe. Now I'm using air quotes. Obviously you guys can't see me using air quotes, but that's only because that light's reached us thus far. Only 13.5 billion years of light has reached us. So you know what I mean? So the universe could be fucking older. We don't know. That light hasn't made it to us.
Yeah.
It is nuts, right? So you think of these things like
those things are
Kepler.
Gone. Planets, civilizations. Who knows if we do get a message from a civilization, they could be
Who knows if they're gone, right? And that's kind of my next point with the with Kepler, with the James Webb Deep Space Telescope. Hopefully that thing gets fucking launched soon. I'm looking forward to this so much. But we're on the search for exoplanets right now, right? Like we might find an Earth. We might find Earth 2 out there, but there's no guarantee that it's there.
Exactly. It could be gone by the time we see it, or
the star Betelgeuse.
Yeah.
It's like the 4th biggest star or something like that we can see with the naked eye. Excuse me.
It's ridiculous.
And we know it's going to supernova.
Yeah.
It might have already.
Yeah.
We have no fucking idea. But we know that star is going to supernova. You know what I mean? So it could have supernovaed 500 years ago. It's just that light hasn't made it to us.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about that, I was reading, is that when that thing does actually go, we're gonna have essentially 2 weeks of nonstop sunlight. There will be 2 suns in the sky come daytime. Yeah, and then there will be a very faint fucking sun in the sky come nighttime.
Wow.
It's gonna go supernova, right? Like that's an insane amount of fucking
close
energy
enough to be that bright to us.
Yeah.
That's insane. I hadn't heard that. That's incredible.
Yeah, it should be cool. Like I'm hoping that I get to experience that. Like I really am. I'm really hoping that I'm alive to experience that.
Flintstones too.
It's apparently happened in antiquity. There's one very famous.
Probably like when the day became the night, or the night. Yeah.
And again, it was about 2 weeks of nonstop brightness. There was 2 suns in the sky. You
can see why ancient people dropped to their knees and prayed to God when some weird shit happened in the sky.
Absolutely. Like as much as I chirp on religion, I only do it in the modern sense. Like by now you should know better.
We know better now.
By now you should have been able to figure it out. Like, oh, these people weren't stupid. They just didn't know better.
Yeah.
Right?
There was no science to tell them what was happening.
Yeah, but some dude, some primitive man with a bone in his nose running around the jungle sees some fucking eclipse and is like, holy shit, that's God. I'm like, okay, I can understand your reasoning.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, space is.
I love it.
I was saying this. I think I said this to Liz the other day. Like I've always had a big interest in astronomy and just space in general. But I don't want to fucking learn too much about it because I love that being in awe feeling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Because when something crazy happens, like you said, the hexagon on Saturn, your mind is blown away.
Right? I'm sure there's tons of people that know the actual reason and the physics behind why that's happening.
And a methane ocean on one of the moons. Like what the hell? What?
There's Titan. There is a lake. There's a lake of methane named Lake Ontario on Titan on one of the poles.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Same with the Russians. The Russians landed a probe on Venus years ago in the 70s. And there's 3 pictures they took at the surface of Venus. And I've found myself on more than one occasion just, again, baked out of my fucking face.
Before it literally melted away.
Yeah, looking at these photos and just in awe going, that's an alien world. Like that's fucking that's
how I get when we see
this world.
I get so excited when I see these little Mars landers and rovers because they're there. They're looking back at us and they're seeing something nobody from Earth, as far as we know, has ever seen.
No, it's nuts. It's fucking crazy. Like
it's incredible. I mean, I would never go, but these people that are gonna go to Mars, they're saying 2025 is when we're sending people to Mars with SpaceX, I guess.
Yeah. We got it.
You guys are fucking brave, and you're legends, and you're gonna be my hero, man.
I mean, I wouldn't even care. Like, I wouldn't even care to be the first person to die on Mars. You know what I mean? But it would just, fuck. You got to be really, really sure of yourself,
Oh, it's amazing. Like, good luck to them, man.
Because that's a one-way trip.
Those are true adventurers.
Yeah. Because it is. It's a legitimate one-way trip. You're not coming back. You are not. This is not the Avengers. You're not going to fucking Doctor Strange your way out of this one. You know what I mean? Like, you were there for good. But
could your body even let you come back? It's like, did you ever see that horrible movie where the kid was born on Mars?
Oh, I feel like I did.
It just came out 2 years ago. And the kid, when he came to Earth, the gravitational made him all sick, and he had to go back to Mars.
Oh, it's true. But yeah, I mean, space is fucking crazy. It's cool.
Amazing.
Like, it's so cool. What is it? I want to say it's just off of Orion. You can see it sometimes. This big blinking red and blue fucking light, and it's a sun or it's a star. What the fuck's the name? XY Scooty or something like that. The largest fucking thing we have ever observed in the universe.
I'm gonna look for it. I always thought whenever winter comes, it's the only thing I love about winter is seeing Orion back in the sky. I love him.
Yeah, I just learned about this not that long ago. Again, got super baked, and I was like, fuck it, I want to watch a video on what are the largest things we have ever observed, and this star came up, and so they show it in a graph, right? So it's here's Earth, and here's Earth compared to the sun. Here's the sun compared. By the time they got to the sun compared to this thing, the sun was the tiniest little pixel on my screen, and this thing was just fucking monstrous. And then it shows you where it is in the sky, where you can go see it. And
I got a
I got a pretty good view in my backyard, right? There's nothing directly behind me. I got a school field, right?
It's pretty dark there too.
Right. And my line of sight's pretty good. And I seen it not that long ago, just this blinking blue and red light. And I was like, holy shit, like that's the largest fucking thing we know of, other than galaxies, of course, because but like that is the largest single fucking like object that we have discovered yet. Yeah, I love it.
I love it too.
Fucking love it. But again, cool. it's only fun for me when I'm high.
Yeah.
Because when I'm not high, I try to focus on like the math of it and the realness of it, rather than just feeling insignificant and tiny and right. Like I can't remember. I was describing my love for this with somebody, and I said like the thing that I love the most is how fucking insignificant it makes me feel. And like, that's fucking weird, man.
We're nothing. We're not even specks of dust.
We're nothing.
In the universe.
Like we're literally nothing. Like absolutely nothing.
And everybody who doing everything to feel special, these about themselves, dude. It doesn't matter in the long run.
It doesn't.
Most of us aren't going to be remembered by anybody other than our families for one or two generations.
Like that's literally it.
Most of us, I mean, unless we're a Shakespeare, most of us are not going to be remembered.
He'll be forgotten.
Yeah, you're right.
He'll be forgotten. Fucking,
in 1,000 years.
In at some point in time, Jesus Christ won't be fucking remembered.
Yeah.
Like seriously, everything will come and go, right?
Yeah.
But not those fucking blinky fucking lights up there. They're there, It's
still there.
Fuck cool.
It is. Okay, well, let's talk quickly about before. That was such a cool. Like we could have talked for another hour about that. Let's talk quickly. I don't know which story. I don't feel like going out on this bummer story, so we won't talk about that. Let's talk about the Ontario Police Force.
Okay.
York Region Police. So they've been having, I don't know if it's necessarily an increase, but they're pretty shocked that people are still drinking and driving. They're doing their yearly ride program, out there trying to stop people and find drunk drivers and warn other people not to drink and drive, right?
Yeah.
They've been doing it for decades.
Yeah, so long.
In one weekend, I think they got 16 people.
Yep.
Which is pretty high still, People should know better by now. And so York Regional Police now is doing something that really isn't done. They're releasing the names of everybody even just suspected of drinking and driving.
Yeah.
Good for them. I support this wholeheartedly.
Look, if we're not going to fucking reform how our justice system deals with drunk drivers, then this is the only other course of fucking action.
Name and shame.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to name the motherfucker. I don't even care. That Marco Muzzo piece of shit killed 3 fucking children and their grandfather drunk driving, got 8 years in fucking prison. Fuck you. Fuck you. Like, as far as I'm concerned, drinking and driving is murder one all fucking day.
Yeah.
You are drunk. That driving drunk is not fucking, it's
we just had this kid, 18 years old, drinking and driving. He killed the mom, the baby, and the dad is in horrible shape in the hospital.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, you do not pass go, you do not collect your $200, you go to jail for life.
Yeah.
Like, per fucking life you took. Like, I don't even give a fuck.
Yes.
But
it's disgusting.
I mean, again, here in Canada, we're a little bit more fucking liberal with that kind of shit. And as long as you don't
we learned about that guy in, was it Michigan or Indiana that had, 40 arrests?
Yeah, right?
Come on.
Like, it's insane. It's absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah.
But I'm all for this. I'm all for this. Like, I don't give a shit if you fucking if you get fired from your job and stuff. You know what I mean? I really don't. Drinking, and you're putting my life in your fucking hands when you get in the car sober.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to be careful when you're driving sober. There's so much that can distract you, not even in your car, out on the streets. And now let's add 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 beers, shots to the issue.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm all for it.
They've been naming, I can't remember if Toronto Police releases ours. I don't think so. But I mean, a lot of places and states, and sometimes these smaller communities in Canada, they'll release information, like especially if they do like a hooker sting and they get the Johns, they release the names of the Johns.
Yeah.
I think drinking and driving is way worse than picking up a hooker to suck your dick.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm for it. I know people are already upset by it. You know what I mean? Like, shaming people isn't the way, but what else do you suppose? We obviously can't go to prohibition.
We've been doing commercials. There's lots of Ubers. There's taxis. There's even like free people that will come and pick you up. Designated driving groups that will come and pick you up for free.
Yeah, right. It's ridiculous. There's no excuse to fucking drink and drive. None. Like none.
If you know you're going to a bar or a party, don't bring your car.
Right.
How about that?
It's really not that fucking hard, but
it's not at all. But it drives me crazy. I'm really happy. I really wish more police forces would do this, to be honest.
I mean, I still don't see it curbing drinking and driving. It might stop a person that has been shamed from reoffending, but I still don't see it stopping.
Well, and it's interesting to see. Did you read any of the names? Did you read the list? So I read the list, and as much as I know young people are still doing it, because we had that Mitchell Musso, or whatever the hell his name was, and we had the guy that just killed that family. It still shocks me when I see somebody under the age of 30, because I really feel like my generation and younger should know better.
Yeah.
But we don't. I know I'm not under 30. But I mean, like, MAD was a big thing when I was growing up in the 80s. Like, people were talking about drinking and driving.
Yeah.
And so it shocks me that people are still doing it. Like, I really do expect it to be like my dad's generation and older. Like, and when I see somebody 24, you know, drinking and driving, it surprises me. And I know it shouldn't, but it does.
I don't know. Like, I'd say the same, like, that it surprises me, but it doesn't, because just because of my personal fucking views of humans. We're scum. We're pieces of shit. We don't care about anybody else.
Because it's legal doesn't mean you can smoke weed and drive or eat weed and drive. Don't do that either, stupid.
It's like, again, you are putting everybody's life in your hands when you operate a fucking vehicle. If you can't do it, you know what I mean? Then don't fucking do it. It's just, it's a problem. I don't see a way it goes away without fucking, you know, going old school and starting taking hands off people that drink and drive. You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Well, and there's even ways to get around it, because I know, I don't want to say, when my husband started working where he works now, he went for training, and there was other people that had already been with the company for a while going for like refresher training. And a lot of these guys will live in hotels because they're sent to these kind of out of the way places. And all they do is sit in their hotel rooms and drink, and they get these drinking and driving charges. And because they need their vehicles and their licenses to work, they'll get the breathalyzers on their car ignitions. And they'll just get their buddy to blow into it for them. You know, Sister Patty showed up, and she made a funny comment. She says her ex lived in a small town in New York State, and they would check the police blotter every Sunday and then talk shit about the people in it, which I would 100% do too. Like, if I knew people on the police blotter, hell yes. I'd be like, oh my God, Arthur, did you hear that Ryan got picked up for yachting?
A guy I went to high school with got arrested fucking fairly, like, at least around here, famously in front of a well-known fucking, you know, piece of shit kind of complex. And we went out and got a bunch of newspapers with a photo of him fucking being drug out of the building and fucking pasted all over my shed.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we did the same. I knew a guy I knew. No, I didn't make fun of him, but a guy I knew got shot by the police. And he, of course, claimed that the gun he had was planted on him. It may have been. Who knows? It was the 90s, and it was the police, and he was a black guy, so I can't say it wasn't. But, I mean, like, you know, everybody was doing the call chain. Oh, my God, did you hear about so-and-so and stuff? So,
again, though, the whole drunk driving thing, I don't know what the solution is. I don't think anybody does. You know, I'm fairly certain smarter people than me have fucking tried to figure it out, and they're still coming up with drunk drivers. Right? We can't go prohibition. We were not going that route.
It's not just poor trash people. It's people of all generations, people of all, you know, social statuses and jobs. You've got doctors, scientists, people who should know better. They're doing it too. So
again, my personal philosophy is the fact that nobody truly cares about their fellow man. And I'm guilty of that too. Like, I put on the facade like I do because I want to feel like I do. But when it comes down to it, like, convenience for myself is more important than my feelings towards you. But I still wouldn't endanger your fucking life. Like, that's the disconnect.
The thing. Like, you know, if I see a story about someone online and they're raising a GoFundMe because their house burnt down, I might feel bad for them, but are they going to get my $20? Probably not. Now, I certainly wouldn't go and get in a car drinking and driving and find that family and run them down. Right? So, anyway. Let's end the show. We'll be back on Wednesday. Have a good couple days, and we'll see you Wednesday. And take care. Don't drink and drive. Look at the sky. It's amazing. Bye.